Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Sam and this is Frugalisama. This is where I talk about all things sewing, particularly dressmaking. And today is day 64 of 100 days of sewing and it's another Frugal Friday. But first of all, I'd just like to say thank you for anyone who's subscribed so far. If you're new to this channel, if you could please consider subscribing, that will help YouTube show my videos to new people. And if you can like and make any comments below, that's fantastic too. So Frugal Fridays is just where I talk about any new free patterns that I've seen this week, any discounts and challenges and competitions that I've found. I've been running this series since about November now, every week, and it's just about keeping sewing accessible to people. So whether that's in terms of skills, where I bring videos during the week for tips and tricks and techniques and what have you, or on a Friday with the Frugal Fridays. Sundays I usually do something along the lines of plans and makes and reviews, that sort of thing. So on to today's video. So today I've got 6 new free patterns for you and the chance to win a Cricut machine, so keep watching. So first off, I will start with the free patterns that I've found, and this week I'm going to call it viewers picks, because I was struggling a little bit to find some new free patterns this week, and I thought I'd just include a few that people have told me about that I might have seen in the past but you might not have seen before. As it happens, I have actually found a couple of new ones as well, so it's just a mixture of what I found and a few viewers picks as well. So I'm going to start off with one from Dressy Talk. Never heard of this pattern company before, and somebody who watches these videos had left a message in the comments below and told me about it. And this is called, it doesn't really have a proper name, I think it's just called the ruffled sleeved top and dress. Not very catchy really. It's got a V-neck, it's got a double ruffle on the sleeve, it's got kind of kimono or grown on sleeves. Looks like there's a centre seam down the front on the pictures on the top but not on the dress, which I think is interesting, but I don't think it's accurate. I think they both have got a centre seam down the front. We've got a curved hem and then it's lower at the back than it is at the front. So on first inspection on this one, it does look like a very simple pattern, fairly loose fitting. You've got bust darts, but there's no fitting at the waist. So I think it's just a little bit more complex than what it looks like when you first look at it. The neck is finished with a bias binding. And then you've got, if you look underneath, there's some little gussets underneath the arm, which I thought was interesting. And it's actually drafted for 2 heights. Again, that's quite unusual. You've got a version that's for people up to 5'6", and then you've got a version for people that are 5'6" and above. So you won't have to do any lengthening or shortening, unless you're significantly shorter than that or taller than that. I think the sizing is a little bit limited. It's drafted for a 33-inch bust up to a 45 to 46-inch bust, and it goes up to a 48-inch hip. It is a woven pattern, is this one, so it's drafted for cottons, linens, viscose, that sort of thing. It just does say in the instructions it's drafted for a lightweight fabric such as a cotton. It doesn't actually say anything, it doesn't give you any other suggestions, but I would imagine a linen or a viscose twill or something like that. Something that depends on what effect you want those ruffles to have on your sleeve. I think the ruffles are finished with a rolled hem. I think the gusset under the sleeve is probably just to help you move about a bit. Sometimes grown on sleeves can be a little bit restrictive, but I think that's what that gusset would be for. So yeah, I think that's an interesting one, and thank you to whoever left me a message. I've lost all the messages, but thank you very much for giving me the heads up on that one. It's a really nice pattern, and I think that's something that I would probably make. So if you want me to do a sew along for that one, I'm more than happy to do a sew along, because there's not a great deal of information on the pattern instructions, and there's a few little techniques on there that might need clarifying, so I'm more than happy to do a sew along for that. Just leave me a comment below. And while I'm thinking about it, as a reminder, I'll leave all the links to everything below. So the patterns and everything is all linked below. So next up is another pattern company that I've never heard of, and this is a new pattern, and they're called Fieldwork Patterns. Looks like they're a fairly new pattern company because there only looks to be about 5 patterns on this website. And this is somebody on Instagram that gave me the heads up on this one. These are the Millie joggers, and they're designed for a jersey, so like a sweatshirt jersey, something like that. Just jogging pants with side pockets. You've got the option of elastic and cording at the waist and elastic at the bottom as well. Nice and casual, relaxed style. Great for a free pattern, nice for coming up to summer. And you just need to subscribe to their newsletter and they will just send you a little link, and you just need to put in free joggers or something to get to the free pattern pattern. What I liked about this was they tell you on the page, the description page, how many pages there are to download. So there are 25 pages to download, and you've got an A0 option as well, and there's just 2 pages for that. So you're not having to dig around and look for that information, which I really appreciate. And things like that, you know, I think pattern companies are coming on a little bit with that sort of information, that you're not having to really dig for it and find it. So they are saying that you need just over 2 meters for this one, a sweatshirt jersey, and it's aimed at a confident beginner. I would imagine a beginner can tackle these. If you've never made trousers before, just go for it. They're very easy, very straightforward. The sizing is just a bit of a small size range. They go from small to extra large. Goes from a 24-inch to a 38-inch waist, and there's about 4 inches of ease in the hip area on those. If you're looking for something a little bit bigger, then So Easy have some very, very similar joggers, almost identical in style. They don't have the A0 option, but they do have a wider size range. Theirs go from a 26-inch waist up to a 47-inch waist. So yeah, I'm really pleased to find fieldwork patterns. I think they are very much aimed at beginners or confident beginners. There's lots of nice basic patterns on there for you to give them a go. Not too expensive when you're paying full price. I think they're ranging at about £8 or £9. And they've got a really nice pinafore dress on there, so I'll show you a picture of that whilst I'm talking as well. So next up is the heratop by Wardrobe by Me. Now this one has been going around for a while, because I know Karina at Lifting Pins and Needles has made this a couple of times and done a sew along, I think, for this one. But I thought I'd just show you it just in case you've never seen it, because it is a really, really pretty top. So you've got a wrap at the front, and then you've got these really nice flutter sleeves, and then it's elasticated waist. From the pictures that I've seen, I think I'd probably wear a vest top or something like that underneath it. Does seem a little bit like it might be a bit too revealing, but in summer, on holiday, in a nice floaty fabric, then, you know, it would be different. But need my vest on in Yorkshire, I think. So this is one that's designed for something with a nice drape to it, such as a lightweight viscose or a silk, if you want to cut into some silk, or just a nice lightweight cotton like a voile or something like that. They are saying that you can use a nice lightweight jersey as well, like a viscose jersey, something that will be nice and fluttery on the sleeve, but you need to go down a size on that one. But that goes from sizes 0 to 20, which is a 30-inch bust up to a 45.5-inch bust. Quite forgiving on the waistline because of the elastic, I think, and also on the hip as well, because you've got a peplum on the hip. So yeah, it'd be nice in a crepe or something like that with this one, and I would imagine it would be quite easy to extend into a dress, this one as well. It'd be a really nice pretty dress, summer dress, just a sort of A-line, or you could do a gathered waistline on it as well. Either extend the peplum or get rid of the peplum and add a skirt where the elasticated waist is. So yeah, so that's a really pretty one. I thought I'd just mention it because somebody told me about it in the comments, and you know, if you've never seen it, then I thought it would be a nice one to mention. Next one is another one that I'm probably going to butcher, and this is a French pattern, and it's called the Monami, I think. The pattern company is Monami, and I think the dress is called Dolce. I'm doing my best. So yeah, more statement sleeves with this one. Sort of very, very basic body shape, and the actual skirt bit is just a big rectangle. But what I liked about this one is I think it's quite hackable. So I'm not sure how old it is. I think it was probably June last year that this one came out. There is a supporting video for it, but like I say, it is in French and the instructions are in French. Very simple to translate, because all you've got is a bodice with bust darts and a waist dart. You've got the big statement sleeve elasticated at the wrist, and then the skirt is just a big rectangle, so it's just gathered into the bodice. The fastening at the back, it's just like a little keyhole at the back. Yeah, you can just go onto Google Translate and translate it. It's just very, very straightforward and very simple. They're recommending a double gauze for this one, or a viscose, just a woven. But again, I can imagine this in a nice jersey, like a viscose jersey or something like that. And like I say, quite hackable. You could have it really oversized and loose fitting. You can make the skirt whatever length you want because it's just a rectangle. So you can lengthen it, shorten it. You can shorten the bodice and have it a bit baby doll style. Or I have seen an example where they've done away with the elastic at the cuff and then put a ruffle on. So brought the sleeves in and then just put a ruffle on at the bottom of the sleeve. So nice one is that one, thank you. With the accompanying video, even though the video is also in French, I would imagine that visual aid would be, if you are stuck, it would be quite easy to do. I won't do a sew along for that one because it's not my style. Maybe somebody else might want to do it, but not that I don't like it, it's just not my style. And whilst we're on viewers picks, Rosanna told me about the Angela Kane website, which I'd completely forgotten about and revisited again this week. And if you sign up to her website, you can download 2 free patterns free of charge. So these aren't new at all, but Angela Kane is an incredibly good teacher. If you can get onto her website and you are at the very beginning of your sewing journey, as they say, she's an excellent teacher. You can get whichever 2 patterns you want within the free ones. The one that I particularly liked is a dress made out of denim, and it's just a sleeveless dress with these statement pockets. So I thought I'd just mention that one, and you can go and have a browse and choose whichever free patterns you want. It does look a bit dated, does the website, but they're very good basic patterns, and she gives you lots of hacks for them as well, I think. So worth having a look at. So thanks Rosanna for that one. So the next 2 are new patterns, and one is from Sew magazine, and that's called the Sofia top, named after my lovely niece. And this is an off-the-shoulder Bardo style one. Now, oftentimes with the sewing magazine website, they don't give you the instructions. This one has got instructions on it, and it is just a very basic top. I don't think it's actually got any darts in it, so it's quite straight through the waist. You've got the elasticated across the top of the shoulders, and you don't have to wear it off shoulder. If you can pull it up if you like. Quite straight through the waist, and then just hemming it. Your sleeves are more or less to your elbows, and it's designed for seersucker. Are you ready for a bit of a fabric lesson here? So I've googled this, but designed for seersucker, obviously a cotton, any kind of cotton will do, or a gauze. It'd be really nice in a cotton gauze or something like that. But seersucker is also known as a railroad stripe, which I didn't know, and it's very, very narrow stripes, and the stripes are they cause a kind of puckering. And seersucker has come from Hindi, and it comes from the Persian words sheer and shakar. That means milk and sugar. So the milk is smooth and the sugar is rough, and that gives you the seersucker. There you go. Every day's a learning day. So it gives you that sort of bumpy, wrinkled appearance on a seersucker, but it'd be nice in a lightweight linen or a cotton gauze or something like that. The only problem with patterns in magazines, the free downloadable ones in magazines, is number one, you can only get the print at home ones. You don't generally get them to print in a copy shop. And number 2 is that the sizing is, they only tell you that it's 8 to 24. No idea what that translates at, but it does seem like quite a wide size range, and like I say, it's quite unfitted, so as long as you can get something that can compare to your chest size, then you should be okay. They are suggesting you need 2 metres of fabric for this one, which I'm finding quite difficult to believe. I think 1.5 metres would be more than enough, but they're saying 2 metres. So. Last but not least, Mood once again have brought out another pattern whilst we've all been asleep, and that's called the Moonflower dress. Now this is definitely not for everybody, and it's definitely not for me, but I like to feature things that not necessarily for me. Got a cutout at the navel, so not somewhere that I want to show off, but I'm sure some people are quite happy with that. So another one that's a fairly standard bodice, square neckline this time, which is nice, and then you've got your 3/4 length sleeves, quite fitted at the bodice, and then you've got quite a big pleated skirt. What you can't see from the pictures on it is that it's a wrap skirt and it has pockets. I really like how they do the pockets on Mood. It's an unusual construction and how they do the pockets, and it's how I did my coat pockets. I seem to use that technique quite a lot. Never seen anybody else use it, probably people do, but the pocket pieces are one piece. So you join the one piece of pocket to the front and the back skirt, fold the front and back skirt together, and then sew up your pockets that way. I'm not explaining that very well, but yeah, it's an unusual construction. There is an invisible zip in this one, and you will need that. I don't think there's any getting this one over your head without putting a zip in. They're suggesting a cotton sateen or a brocade or a jacquard for this one. The sample's been made in a cotton stretch sateen. I think they're suggesting the heavier weight cotton so that it holds those pleats on the skirt. Quite a structured look is this. Again, you use whatever fabric you like. I would stick to a woven, but maybe it's more comfortable in something like a structured ponte or something like that. Would be quite nice. But yeah, I would imagine any sort of medium to heavyweight woven would work just fine. but you might need just that little bit of stretch around the bodice. So yeah, I thought I'd just mention that one. Like I say, it wouldn't, definitely not on my list. There'll be no sew alongs for that one. I'm not making stuff that I'm not going to wear. Right, so on to discounts now. We seem to have quite a few pattern companies giving discounts, either because they've got pattern releases or if there is Easter sale on. There's a couple of fabric companies that have got Easter sales on. So I'm not going to touch on them all because it'll take me all day. Ellie and Mac and Winter Wear Designs, they've always got something going on. So Ellie and Mac will always have their $1 sales. I'm not going to go into that this week because I've got lots to cover, and I'll put a link to their Wacky Wednesdays and you'll be able to see that. Winter Wear Designs have got the Magnolia dress, which is a really nice dress, and that's $3. And that will be available probably for the next couple of days, but not all week. Very quickly then, so we've got Twig and Tail. They've got the Fable dress, so that's a new dress that they've brought out. That usually retails for £14, I think, or it might be dollars. I will put it on the screen, and that's reduced to $11.20 for launch date. So this is a really nice sweet dress with buttons down the front, and you can buy the adults or the child's, or you can buy it in a bundle, and there's a discount on the bundle as well. So Over It have got 20% off this weekend, and Style Arc have got 20% off this weekend as well. I will just leave the links below for you if you want to have a look. Minerva have got 60% off, and I got quite excited when I saw 60% off, but it is only certain things. So it's just ribbon and embellishments and baking goods. Who knew they did baking goods? So I think they're selling that off, so probably not for much longer. But if you're into baking, Minerva's your place. And then if you live in Australia, the fabric store have got 30% off Liberty jerseys, which I thought was a good deal. And what I liked about this one is that Australia are actually going into autumn, and it's nice to see a sale that's actually seasonal. Usually you'll find that we'd be getting the jerseys when we don't need it. It's nice that they're actually doing it seasonal. 30% off Liberty, I mean, that's pretty good going, really. You don't often see that. And the jerseys are more expensive, so there are some beautiful examples. I will screen share those for you so you can drool. If you're not in Australia, I apologise now. Then finally, Anna Lane Patterns. I've got all their patterns for $1.99, and there's lots and lots and lots of patterns on there. So thank you to whoever gave me the heads up on that one. I'm not sure whether they're closing down, and that's why I can't remember whether I've featured these before neither. But they are still available, and there's lots and lots of wearable patterns for $1.99 on that website. So that was a quick run through the discounts. Sorry it was so quick. I've got to get through a lot tonight. Right, on to challenges. So the first of the month always brings us lots of new challenges, and ours has just finished, and there's a nice one over on Instagram, and that is Sew April. So Sew April's been running for a couple of years. This is being run by Riley Spod, and there is a daily prompt. So it's a great way to get to know people on Instagram. If you've got there's a daily prompt, and you can dip in and dip out as you like, but there's prizes for this every day. So some of these challenges that I'm going to talk about, you do have prizes, and some of them are just for fun. But yeah, there's a daily prize on this one. 1st of April was an introduction, and then today has been what your style is, and then there's a different prompt every day, which I'll share this screen so that you can see it. But there is absolutely no pressure to join in every day. If there's something that you've got nothing to say on, don't say anything. But they're a great way of learning things as well, I think. I think you make connections on these sort of challenges. No, it's not for everybody, but I like to join in. And like I say, there's a prize. So all you need to do with that one is tag in Riley Spod, make a note of whatever the prompt is. It doesn't even have to be a photograph of you, it could be a photograph of whatever the prompt is that day, and then tag in the sponsors for that day. So each day there will be an announcement on Riley Spod's Instagram page, and if you just make a note of whoever's sponsoring, and just need to make sure that you tag those in, and that way you get included into the draw. So that's running for all of April, and I think there's an extra one on the 1st of May as well. So another one that's been running for a few years on Instagram, and that's been run by Sew It Curly, Coffee and Thread, and Just Add Fabric, and that is Sew That Pattern Now. So this is on a very similar vein to the Frugal Frocks challenge that Rowan and I was running last month, in that you're using what you've got. So I think this is a great one, because we've all got patterns, haven't we, in our stash that we've bought and not made, or we've had given, or maybe patterns in a pattern book or something like that. and you just move on to something new and shiny, or maybe there's a technique in there that scared you and you don't want to tackle. So I thought this might be an interesting one for me to run in conjunction actually on this channel, and maybe go through some of my patterns maybe on Sunday or something like that. Maybe pick out a couple of ones that I was considering, take a vote, and then maybe do a sew along for. But yeah, it's a great way of using what you've got in the stash. We asked you to use a free pattern, but this is using whatever you've got in your stash and getting that sewn up. I've got a lot of vintage patterns. That's a great way of tackling those vintage patterns, because I think sometimes we can be a little bit precious about our vintage patterns, and to be fair, they're not worth anything really. Just get them sewn. It's just a shame they're not museum pieces. Get them used. So that's your pep talk for the day. So yeah, there are prizes for this one, and I think there's 4 of them, and it's 4 bundles of another pattern and some fabric. Just to sew something throughout the month of April and sew it up before the 13th of May. And just tag in sew it curly, copy and thread, and just add fabric. So again, I will just put a link for you below. But there's nothing like a challenge really to keep you motivated, and a deadline as well. The last one is just a fun one, and this is by Nancy at Maker Mother Crone. She's decided it's overalls month. So overalls for us are something with sleeves on in the UK. It's something that I put over the top of my clothes when I'm doing the decorating. But she's talking about something with a bib on, so we call those dungarees. Linguistics aside, it's something with a bib on. Something that's trousers attached to a bib, and probably braces or something that goes over your shoulders. And I picked up the Heyday dungarees when Made by Jack's mum transferred over to Waves and Wild, and they had the $3 sale. So I picked up the Heyday dungarees, so that's a great one for me to get these sewn up. And maybe if you wanted to do that, sew that pattern now, you can combine the two. I mean, there's nothing to stop you from doing that. Good one to motivate you to sew those dungarees. Perfect transitional garments for anybody either coming into spring, or if you're at the other side of the world coming into autumn as well. You can layer them up or wear a nice t-shirt underneath, or nothing. So yeah, that's definitely something that I'm going to be taking part in. And again, if you want me to do a sew along for the Heyday dungarees, those are the only ones I've got, I think. I'm happy to do that, so leave me a comment below if that's something that you're planning on doing and you just need a little bit of help. I'm more than happy to do that. On to the big giveaway now, and this is thanks to Geraldine on Instagram who gave me the heads up for this, and this is for a Cricut maker, or a Cricut maker. I always strip over this one, and it's not for one, it's for 2. It is just UK only, is this one, and you just need to follow the Ryman account, and you need to like the page and tag in a friend and tell them why you would like to win a Cricut maker, and that's open until the 8th of April. So yeah, 2 of those to win, and thanks to Geraldine for letting me know about that one. Right, that's it from me. Don't forget to leave me a comment below and like and subscribe, and I will speak to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.